Fasten your seatbelts. There might be some turbulence.
What is going on, YouTube? And welcome back to Dead Jester Cinema. Well, as many of you are aware, I have been going through the Indiana Jones movies on this channel as part of my retrograde series, and I'm currently in the middle of my edit of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and I am doing this all because there is a brand new Indiana Jones movie that just came out, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Now, I was planning on saving a kind of pseudo review or reaction to this movie until I eventually got to a retrograde of it later on, but I kind of want to get my feelings on this off my chest. Considering that I'm going through the series right now, I feel like it's only right to kind of talk about this brand new movie. Now, this isn't necessarily going to be a review per se. It's going to be more of a reaction, like my reaction coming out of the theater and my reaction now a couple days on since I've had some time to process it. I don't really fancy myself a good reviewer. There are better people out there who could probably better dissect this film than me, so I'm just going to kind of stick to my reaction to it. And before we jump in, yes, this is going to be spoiler talk. I feel like I can't really talk about this movie without going into spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, and if you don't want to be spoiled, just skip this whole review. I'll understand, trust me, and just come back later if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on it. But going into Dial of Destiny, I was looking forward to this movie a shit ton. Indiana Jones is probably my top franchise, if not, it's in my top 3. It's a movie franchise that I have loved since I was like 5 years old when my stepdad first showed me Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and I've just been a fan ever since. I am a stan for Indiana Jones, and I don't apologize for that. Even a movie like Crystal Skull, which is not perfect, it's not necessarily great, I still had fun with it, and I could still throw it on and enjoy it despite all its flaws. But yeah, when Indiana Jones 5 was announced, I was looking forward to it, and this movie has been kind of pushed down the road multiple times. I think it was originally supposed to come out in 2019, and it kept getting delayed, pushed back, and then, COVID hit, and that really pushed it back. Steven Spielberg walked away from it, and then we got James Mangold taking over, which I thought at the time was a good decision. I like James Mangold. I think he's a talented director. But once this movie was announced as Dial of Destiny and it was coming out this year, I got hype. I got really hype. It's my boy, Indiana Jones. Like I've said in my retrograde, you can see there's the poster for Last Crusade right over there as part of my backdrop. So you guys know, like, whatever movie poster is back here, it's a movie I have a special connection with, and it's one of my favorites. So Indiana Jones back there, it means a big deal to me. But I have to be honest. When I saw the movie and when I got out of the theater, I don't know ultimately how I feel about it. I don't know what to make of it. When the movie was done, I kind of sat there in a daze, and my wife, who got me tickets to go see it for my birthday as a very early birthday gift, she leaned over to me when it was done and she asked, so what did you think? And I couldn't come up with an answer right away. And I felt bad about that because I felt bad because she spent all this money to take me out and to treat me for my birthday, and the movie just underwhelmed me. Now, I won't go as far as to say that I hated it. I don't hate the movie. I don't think it's a bad movie. There are bad movies out there. I've reviewed some of them on this channel. This is not a bad movie. I just don't think it's a good one. I think for me, right now, even after a couple days of seeing it, I'm still trying to process it. I'm still trying to process how I feel about this movie, and right now it's just okay. I wouldn't discourage anybody from seeing it. If you do want to still go see it, I highly recommend just go see it and judge the movie for yourself. Don't use my opinion to influence your opinion. Opinions, like they always say, are like assholes. Everybody's got them, and they're usually full of shit. But I think what a lot of my problem boils down to with this movie is I just didn't get the sense of fun like I got with Raiders, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade, dare I say even Crystal Skull. I still had fun with those movies. I still had fun with Crystal Skull, even though it's really not that great. Dial of Destiny just feels dire and in moments really depressing, like way depressing for an Indiana Jones movie. And now a lot of that I do get because the story is kind of this grumpy old Indiana Jones who has fallen on hard times. He's gotten divorced from Marion. His son was killed in the Vietnam War, which we'll get to that in a second. So Indy is at a really low point in his life, and he seems like he's just kind of going through the motions until he eventually just kicks the bucket. And then the bulk of the movie is him kind of trying to rediscover himself and rediscovering how to be Indiana Jones again. And I get that. I get that thematically. But it makes for a depressing experience. I don't know how else to say it. And I feel bad saying that because I feel like I'm borderline shit talking one of my most beloved franchise, but I can't help feeling what I feel, and I just didn't have fun watching this. But that's not to say that there aren't fun moments in this movie. I do really like the beginning with the de-aged Harrison Ford. It's set during World War II. I think that is fun, even if the de-aging effects on Harrison look a little wonky at times. Like, there's times where it looks really good, and then there's a lot of times where it looks a little off, or even a lot off. And when the effects get like that, it becomes distracting and it kind of pulls you out of the movie. But it didn't pull me out that much. I still had fun with that opening. And then I thought the third act was fun, where it, to me, finally started feeling like a Indiana Jones movie. Now, a lot of fans kind of don't like the whole time travel aspect to the end of the movie. I don't even know if I'm completely sold on it yet. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's really that great. For me, it feels like it's a bridge too far, and this is coming from a franchise that has spirit ghost things flying out of a box that melt Nazi faces and magic rocks and a 1,000-year-old Grail Knight guarding the Holy Grail and interdimensional space aliens. So yeah, the franchise has all of that, but time travel? I don't know. But another one of my problems that I have with this movie is that it just doesn't have the same charm, and it doesn't have that same sense of fun, like I was saying before, as the other movies. And I think that's in a large part due to the director. Now, like I said, I like James Mangold. I love Logan. That's a great movie. I do think he was an inspired choice to do an Indiana Jones movie, but I can't help but feel like the presence of Steven Spielberg is severely lacking in this film. But as a longtime Indiana Jones fan, it just has a different feel. This Dial of Destiny just has a different tone and a different feel from the other Indiana Jones movies. And part of that is due to thematically what the story is about. And like I said, I do get that. However, I can't help but still feel like that Spielberg touch, that Spielberg magic that was even still present in Crystal Skull, even though I felt like at times he was kind of phoning it in and just placating George Lucas. After watching Dial of Destiny, I can look back on Crystal Skull and even say that, yeah, some of that magic, some of that spark is still in there somewhere, buried deep. There was none of that in this movie. And yeah, I just missed that. I missed that feel. And the bulk of that is in the middle of this movie, where it really does drag. I hate saying it, I hate admitting it. I know Indiana Jones is an action serial. That's what it's inspired by. That's what it's meant to emulate. That's what it is. It's an action adventure movie. So I have no problem with action in these movies. However, the action in the middle of this movie felt like it was too repetitive and that it just went on too long. A lot of these action scenes probably could have been cut down, and some of the sequences probably could have been removed altogether. The movie itself felt overly long. They probably could have cut about 20 minutes to a half hour out of this entire thing, streamlined it better, and it would have been an overall more fluid and better experience watching it. Which is odd because there's so much action in the middle of that movie, but it's so repetitive and ultimately goes nowhere, doesn't have really good payoffs, that it just feels like it drags. Now, my thoughts on the dial itself, the Antikythera, I think is the name. I could be completely butchering that. I like it. I think it's an interesting MacGuffin. I think I like it a little bit better than the Crystal Skull. I think they do a better job of explaining it and setting it up in this movie. However, the problem that I have with it as to why it's not potentially elevated higher, and a lot of this is due to the writing, is that the villain's main objective with the dial isn't truly revealed until the very end. Like, obviously, they're villains. They want the dial for nefarious purposes. We get that. But it's kind of oblivious as to what he necessarily wants to do with it until it's revealed in the third act. And again, therein lies the problem as to why I think the bulk of this movie just drags. We don't completely know the stakes, and we don't completely know what the villain plans on doing with the dial. I think had that been better explained in the beginning, or better alluded to in the beginning, maybe when they're explaining what the dial specifically does, I could get on board with that, and I think that would have been much better, and it would have helped streamline this movie, and it would have gave the events that followed a sense of urgency. But there is no real sense of urgency when it comes to the dial, and yeah, it just, I feel like it's a step above Crystal Skull in terms of the MacGuffin. Like, it's a slight step above it, but it falls into the same trap of it's kind of nebulous what is going on with it until the very end. Before we get into the characters, I have to mention the score, and I love John Williams. He is the sound of my childhood and most of my adulthood. In my opinion, the man has never done a bad score. Every score he has turned in has been either good to great. He's never done anything bad. His score to Dial of Destiny is still good, but it plays like a sort of cherry-picked collage of cues and themes from the rest of the franchise. And maybe that's intentional. Maybe he's doing that because this is the swan song to Indiana Jones, so he's trying to incorporate all these little cues from the other movies as a way to kind of pay tribute to those. But it just, for me, it doesn't help give this film its own identity. Like in the very beginning, in that sequence that I love in World War II with D.H. Harrison, you hear cues from The Last Crusade, from Raiders of the Lost Ark, from Temple of Doom, and it sort of makes you go like, oh yeah, I remember when that was used in that movie. It's almost like musical member berries, but it doesn't do anything to help give this film its own unique sound and own unique identity, as opposed to his last score for Crystal Skull, which isn't among his best. It's not among, I wouldn't put it up there with Raiders or Temple of Doom or Last Crusade in terms of greatness. It was still a good score, but he had themes and cues in there that helped give that film its own unique feel, its own unique sound, and its own identity. I didn't get that here in Dial of Destiny. It just sounded like a generic sort of Indiana Jones score, which, even like I said, even generic John Williams is still good, but I was just expecting a little bit more and kind of felt let down by that. But all right, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this sort of reaction. Let's talk about the characters. Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones, even at 80, he still is good. I don't have any overarching issues with him as Indiana Jones as an elderly man. The only thing I will bring up is, there is an adage about you don't want to see your hero's age, and maybe Indiana Jones was better off left in the past. Maybe it would have been better off recasting a younger actor to do this role and keep it set in the 30s and 40s where I believe Indiana Jones belongs. Because as much as I do love Harrison Ford, and it is nice to see him as Indiana Jones one last time, I still can't help but feel like, wow, the age it's noticeable. And it's funny because everybody was saying that about Crystal Skull. Oh, how old is Harrison Ford? He can't move the same way that he used to, like in the original trilogy. I never saw that in Crystal Skull. I thought he still, even at the age, I think 65 or however old he was when he shot that movie, he still moved around pretty good, and he still was able to pull off the action pretty good. It's noticeably different here in Dial of Destiny. He does look like Grandpa shuffling around and running around, and it hurt. It literally pained me to watch it at times. And, I thought going into the movie, I was like, the age thing is not going to bother me. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it. It's going to be Indiana Jones. He's going to put on the fedora and grab the whip, and it'll be like he never aged at all. But damn, like I said, it is kind of hard to watch at times for me. As an Indiana Jones fan, as a diehard Indiana Jones fan, it's hard for me to watch old man Indy. Mads Mikkelsen as Voller is okay. I think he's a serviceable villain. He seems like a very paint by numbers sort of villain. There's not much depth to him. In my opinion, he's the weakest villain out of the entire Indiana Jones franchise. Yeah, he just doesn't completely do it for me. Like I said, I think he's okay, but is he memorable? Not really. But before I get to the other two characters, I want to really touch on Shia LaBeouf and Mutt Williams, who is not in this movie. For anybody that has listened thus far who has not seen the movie, he is not in it. However, his character, in my opinion, is unceremoniously killed off screen. And look, I get it. He wasn't a popular addition to the Indiana Jones franchise and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I personally didn't have a problem with him. I thought out of all the problems that are present in that movie, Shia as Mutt Williams was not one of them. So I feel like just killing him off screen is kind of disrespectful to that character. I just thought there could have been a better way to write him out to where he didn't need to be there. But instead, it felt like they kind of went with a cheap plot tactic to just kill him off, and then that's the catalyst between Indy and Marion getting divorced and blah blah blah. And yeah, I'm just not a fan of it. I'm sorry. But now we're gonna get to one of the other main issues I have with this movie, and I'm sorry to say it, but it's Helena Shaw. I do not like Helena Shaw at all. I flat out do not like her. Now, this isn't me being sexist or bigoted. I do like Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I think she's a great actress, and I do think she's a terrific writer. She did a lot of good work on the most recent James Bond movie, No Time to Die. She is extremely talented. I just feel like her character, it could have been a man or a woman in this same exact role, and it still would have annoyed the hell out of me for one particular reason, and that's because I feel like this character overshadows Indiana Jones. And it overshadows him to the point where it feels like it pushes Indiana Jones into being a co-star in his own movie. And to me, this all felt like it was trying to prop that character up into potentially going into her own spin-offs after this. Like, this was Disney and Lucasfilm's way of being like, okay, well, we're not going to have Harrison Ford around anymore, but we're still going to continue the Indiana Jones franchise, the Indiana Jones universe, with this new Helena Shaw character. And to me, that is a complete non-starter. I have no interest in that. I have no interest in seeing an Indiana Jones movie without Indiana Jones in it. Just like I have no interest in seeing a James Bond movie without James Bond in it. You wouldn't make that. You wouldn't advertise a James Bond movie without the titular James Bond character in there. I am not going to see anything involving the Indiana Jones universe without Indiana Jones in it. I don't care. That is if they go that route. They may not. But judging by how Disney likes to do shit, I don't doubt that they're kicking around this idea, and I have a feeling it's just going to fall flat on its face. Nobody's going to give a shit. I'll just leave it at that. Now, Helena Shaw, like I said, I don't hate her. She does win back some points at the very end. She does become a little less annoying, and I do believe her being annoying and getting on your nerves is all written into the character. You are supposed to feel that way. But it's one of those things, a lot like Willie Scott in Temple of Doom. It's just too much. It's just too in your face. It's too overshadowing for me. When I see an Indiana Jones movie, I want to see Indiana Jones. I don't give a fuck if he's 90 years old. I want to see Indiana Jones, for the bulk of it, doing his thing. And that's where I think they could have wrote a better old man indie movie. They didn't need to relegate him to being a co-star, or Helena Shaw's like elderly grandpa sidekick in this movie. They could have written something better that could have worked around Harrison's age a little bit more. I get you need to have a younger actor to shoulder some of the load, like kind of like what they did with Shia in Crystal Skull. They went that same route too, but that didn't feel to me as egregious as this. And maybe I'm just being a little oversensitive. Maybe I'm being a little knee-jerk reactionary to it. And the other character that I completely can't stand is Helena Shaw's short round, Dollar General short round mimic. Teddy, I think his name is. I honestly don't give a fuck. His character, as much as I don't like Helena Shaw, I don't like him even more. God, just the thought of him and his annoying voice and his annoying face, I just can't. No. They're trying to make him her short round, and it doesn't work. To the point where she runs into him trying to pickpocket her the same way Indiana Jones ran into short round when short round was trying to pickpocket Indiana Jones. Like, Jesus, could they force feed that anymore? And like I said, I just don't like it. I don't like it. But I'm going to wrap up this reaction video. It's probably gone on a little longer than any of you have paid attention for. Bottom line, I just felt underwhelmed coming out of this movie. I wish I felt differently, and maybe it's the newness of it. Maybe, like I said, I got to watch it a couple more times to let it fully wash over me and take it in, and then maybe my opinion will change. Maybe it'll jump up a little bit more in my rating. But for right now, I'm only going to give it a 2.5 out of 5 stars. It's just middle of the road average. It's not bad. It's not great. It's watchable. But yeah, Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny, 2.5 out of 5 stars. Would I recommend it? If you're an Indiana Jones fan, I say go see it in the theater. You may enjoy it. If you're not a dedicated Indiana Jones fan, if you're a fringe fan, I would say probably wait until Disney Plus. I don't know if it's worth going to see it in the theater. But anyway, that was my reaction on Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And like I said, it breaks my heart feeling this way about one of my most beloved film characters. And you know, like maybe my attitude will change down the road. I've done it with other movies. Maybe this is the same, but we'll see. If you have seen Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, please post your comments below. And, you know, let's be respectful of others' opinions. If we agree or disagree, please like, comment, and subscribe. And, you know, right around the corner will be coming my retrograde on Last Crusade, so be on the lookout for that. But as always, like, comment, and subscribe. I think I already said that. Adios. Now, GTFO.